Hello, dear students. I'm Miss Tania Poveda. This is Entrepreneurship 2. Welcome to my class. Remember that you can download this information on your computer or tablet or on your phone, so you can check it whenever you need. Also, you can print this PPT presentation and save it on your folder as an instrument to study later. This link is going to be in YouTube, so you can watch it as many times as you want. Let's start. Well, today we're going to have a review number 2. Because to continue, it's very important that we know all the concepts and definitions and understand clearly about investigation techniques so we can continue growing in knowledge about these classes. Well, I've said this like many times. What are investigation techniques? Do you remember? Well, obviously they are techniques or ways to investigate the market. So it's the instruments and techniques that you're going to use to know, to get information from the market. And the market, we already know that it's a group of people, your possible clients, people that are going to buy your products, to consume your products. We're going to study about 3 investigation techniques. These are like the most common ones: surveys, interviews, focus group, observation, product testing, and mystery shoppers. There are other more techniques, but these ones are the most common ones, and the other ones are similar, so they vary only in little things. We already studied about surveys, interviews, and focus group. We're going to continue with observation, product testing, and mystery shoppers later. So do you remember about surveys? Well, no matter which investigation technique you use, it's very important that we know the market. We know what kind of people can buy our products. What is the profile of our possible client? Because remember that markets are different one from each other. They vary on different things. Not everybody buy the same products. Some kind of people buy a certain products, another group of people are going to buy other type of products. Even in very similar things like sodas or clothes or cell phones, people are going to choose something different. So that's why you need to know your market. To know your market, you need a profile, the profile of your client. What is client profile? Here it says, it is a summary of a specific customer type that is based on available statistical information, such as, and we have some information here. I'm going to stop again here in this expression, statistical information. When we talk about statistics, we're talking about numbers. So you can collect information from the market. You can write or investigate the profile of client for your product, and you're always going to find numbers. From 100% of your market, a piece of market are going to like something and other people are going to like something else. It's very important we recognize that when we're working with numbers, we have to pay attention to the higher or to the highest rates, because it's really weird that you find something like 100%, like the whole market, like 100% your product. That's kind of impossible because everybody wants something different. So let's suppose that you have your product right now and you know a little bit what kind of people are going to buy your product. So you go to this group of people and you apply or you use an investigation technique to know if they are going to buy your product or not. It's very important you remember that the investigation technique is going to help you to take decisions. So after the investigation, if the market or the group of people are able to buy your product, good, go ahead. Sometimes it can happen the opposite. Sometimes after the investigation, you realize that people don't like your product or people are not going to buy your product. In that case, you stop. Or you improve your product, you change it, or you use a different technique. Right? Either way is good because you're going to decide to continue or to stop or to improve your product. It's very important you recognize also that these instruments are going to help you to save money. Because let's suppose that you have a product that for you is amazing and the best product ever. But when you try to sell it into the market, people reject it. So then you will have waste money, time, energy, and other people's time, money, and energy. So it's better you know it before launching so you can do it much, much better. Okay, what factors you should consider when creating a client profile? First of all, you have to focus if your product is going to be sold between a group of men or women, or maybe both. There are products that men and women use. Example, food, technology, etc. So decide this, or men, or woman, or both. Also, you have to consider the age. And think about you. You are probably between 15 years old right now. 15, 16, maybe 14, I'm not sure. So if you pay attention to the things you like right now, and you compare maybe with your parents, you know that you don't like the same things because of the age, because you want and you like different things. And here we go again, products, not all products are for everybody. And think about when you were a child. So you liked something, a TV show or a toy or clothes, and now, after maybe 10 years later, you don't like that anymore or you don't enjoy that good because you have a different age. So you have to consider if your market are going to be teens or adults or maybe both or children. You can also say like between, let's say like between 7 and 20 years old. So you have children and teens, or maybe between 14 and 70 years old. So you have teens and adults. Okay, so that's other factor to consider. Location. The best example I can tell you here is your product can be sold only in your neighborhood. Maybe it's something that people around your house buy, or in your whole town or the whole country. For example, Guayaquil and Quito, different locations, same country, but different locations. What happened with the weather in Guayaquil? It's really hot, right? And weather in Quito usually is cold. So if I have a bunch of jackets, really warm, it's really hard that you sell those jackets in Guayaquil because people don't need it. So you maybe sell a couple of them, but it's not like a good market. But if you take the same product, those warm, beautiful jackets, and you try to sell them in a cold place like Quito, probably you're going to sell more. You see, we're talking about the same country, but two different towns. So that's something to consider in location. Culture. And here in culture, it's really subjective because you need to know the people, like their habits, their likes, what they know, their knowledge. So to know the culture of this group of people. Even here in Ecuador, the culture from the coast is different than people from the highlands. Even it's the same country. And even here in Guayaquil, the culture change from one place to other. Beliefs. This, we're going to something deeper. What people believe. People believe have a religion. People have a specific politics tendency. So you have to consider what they believe, what it's important for them, for their spirit, for their souls. Traditions. What traditions does the society have, or the families in that location or in that country? What do they do in special dates like Christmas, like Father's Day, Mother's Day? So know the traditions of that group of people. And incomes. This is going to be very important when you have to decide the price to sell the product. Of course, the price has to include the cost and your profit. Yeah, that's kind of obvious. But also you can play a little bit with the price if you know if people are able to pay maybe a little bit more than the average of the price, or maybe less, or maybe the product is too expensive, or maybe it's too cheap. So consider how much these people make, about their incomes. Maybe they have like an average, maybe under the average or above the average. So you can decide what price to sell the product. Okay, that's it about client profile. To know all these characteristics and maybe more if you have the option about the possible group of people to buy your product. And this is going to help you to focus your campaign or your publicity or your marketing when you want to sell the product. So you can be more specific and decide better and get a bigger impact when working on the launching of the product. And this is going to take us to the targeting. Remember that target is like an objective. You have a whole group of people, like a whole place, but not everybody is going to buy your product. Only those specific group of people. The group of people you are going to focus on all your energy, your product, your publicity is going to be called your target. That is targeting, choosing the specific group of people among the whole group of people. So in Guayaquil, you have 4 million people living here, but not everybody is going to buy your product. So you create your profile of client, and then you focus all your energy, your money, your work on this specific group of people. At that moment, you are targeting. Do you remember this from the last video? I'm sure you do. Okay, this is the first investigation technique we studied a few weeks ago. Do you remember what a survey is? If you look at the picture, maybe you recognize here on the right, it's a piece of paper with some questions and you check the answers, right? So this is like a traditional survey. You print a paper with several questions and options and people just check. Right now, we have more technological help. So you can send a survey or a questionnaire online and you're going to get the answers immediately. Also, you can do your surveys face-to-face to other people on a tablet, so you don't need paper. Also remember that during this investigation process, after you collect the information, it has to be to analyze. So it has to be processed. So you need to do it faster because you need answers really fast. So that's why it's very important that you start using technological help, something that is going to help you to classify information faster than in the old times when you did it with paper, like in this picture. This is just a picture, okay? Right now we're using a lot more online information and service. So here's the definition of a survey. A survey is a method of gathering information from a number of individuals or people, known as a sample, in order to learn something about a larger population from which the sample is drawn. So we have mail surveys, like when you receive a survey on your mail in your house, which is not very often anymore. Online surveys, this one here. This one is like the most common ones right now. Face-to-face surveys, yeah, maybe when you go to the mall and there are some people there with tablets or papers asking you questions. And maybe the other one common for you and for me is telephone service. So after you call to maybe the cell phone service or any other service, in the end they say press 1 if this, press 2 if this, or from 1 to 5 how you qualify the service of the employee, for example. So you press 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 according to how you felt. So these are 4 types of service: mail, online, face-to-face, and telephone. But here I want you to remember what a sample is. A survey, because you have to classify the information, and in the case of Guayaquil, we're talking about millions of people. In the case of a market analysis, you talk about a lot of people. You can ask like million questions and then analyze the information. It's going to take you like forever. So what you do is that you take a sample. A sample means that after a formula that I already showed you in a video before, you apply this formula considering the whole population and how much range of error you want to handle. And then you analyze only this group of people, because that is going to be the people that is going to represent the whole market. It can be hundreds, it can be thousands or millions. It depends on this formula, and also it depends on the size of the market, the whole market. So remember that a sample is just a piece of the market. It's going to be representative. It's not going to be the whole market. Okay, so you remember now about survey and sample? We can continue with this. What is a sample in a market research? Well, I already explained this, but let's read. It is a group of people taken from a larger population for measurement. The sample should be representative of the population to ensure that we can generalize the needs or wants from the population. So because this group of people is going to represent the whole population, you can consider the answers as the sample to take decisions. Like when you're at school and we have to organize something, we cannot talk to the whole class because you are busy, because you are too many, because of different reasons. So we talk maybe to 1 or 2 students from each class, and we have a conversation with maybe 6 or 8 students, and then you represent your class. So you can tell us like the general feeling of your class, and also you can take the message to the whole class. So that's a sample. People, little group of people that is going to represent the whole market. Easy, right? Remember this is very important. So what type of questions do we have on a survey? So we have closed questions and open questions. Do you remember this? Closed and open. So here we have like a big chart with a lot of information. Open questions are those that are also known as information questions. This is here on the left. I call them W questions because they include a W. And they are open because you can tell all kind of answers. Like right now, if I ask you, what is your name? It's an open question to get information. It's a W question too. You are 19, 20, 21 students, so you're going to tell me 20 different answers, right? Then the next question is like, why are you studying this? I'm going to have 20 different reasons because everybody has a different reason from each other. How do you do this? Again, I'm going to have 20 different ways to do something. That's why we call them open, because you can choose what to say and how to say it and when. Okay? Now, we also have closed-ended questions. In this case, the answers are going to be only yes or no or options. Closed options. In black, as we can see here, the first questions in black letters. Usually these questions start with auxiliaries, like, is Mary your name? Yes, it is. No, it's not. Are you happy? Yes or no. That's it. You see? This is verb to be working as an auxiliary, so the answer is yes or no. Did you like pizza? Did you like the party? Yes or no. Would you repeat the food? Will you come to my party? So all these questions, the possible answers are only yes or no. That's it. That's why they're closed, because there are not too many options. Only yes or no. Different than this. 20, 31, 40, 100 answers. Now, in blue, we have W questions. So probably right now, you can remember in the video that I showed you last time about this. In this case, we can use W questions only if the answers are kind of obvious. And there are no more answers than that. That's it. For example, what are the colors of the Ecuadorian flag? What are the colors of Ecuadorian flag? Yellow, blue, and red. That's it. That's a closed-ended question because you don't have more options. It's different if I ask you, what is your favorite color? Because then you're going to tell me it's light blue, like in the sky when I go to Salinas, maybe. Okay, so you are telling me a very specific answer and unique answer. But you use W questions as closed-ended questions in case the answers are limited. Who is the president of Ecuador? So how many presidents we have? Only one, right? So the answer is only one. One name, that's it. So closed question. When is Guayaquil's foundation? When? The answer is only one. So closed question. Where is the middle of the world? In Ecuador. The answer is only one, in Quito. That's it. That's why you can use, in these cases, W questions, because the answers are unique. There are no more answers than that. Okay? That's it about the review for open and closed questions. And finally, this is the last review for today. Remember that there is a difference, a very little difference between surveys and questionnaires. So, in the simplest of terms, a questionnaire is a written set of questions. That's kind of obvious, but a survey, on the other hand, includes not only the set of questions, but also the process of collection, aggregation, and analysis of the responses to the questions, while questionnaires refers only to the content. So I can ask you something to know if you know something, that's it. And then I know like, okay, yes, you know it, period. In that case, it's a questionnaire. But if I want to work with statistical information, with numbers and take decisions and analysis, then in that case, the whole process is going to be called a survey. So basically, questionnaire is going to be inside a survey. But survey is going to include all this process of collection, aggregation, and analysis. That's the little difference. Okay, so this is the end of review number 2. Thank you very much for your attention. You're going to have a set of questions soon, a questionnaire, not a survey, so you can answer as soon as possible. Have a wonderful week. I'm very happy that we're learning together a lot of things. If you have any question, please text me or send me an email. I'll be very glad to answer your questions. Have a wonderful afternoon, everybody. Bye-bye.